κατέλησας το σταυρό σου των θανάτων. Είναι όξας το ληστή των παραδείσων, των μυροφόρων, των θρήνων μετέβαλες και της εις Αποστόλης Κύριε την επέταξας, ότι ανέστης Χριστέ ο Θεός, παρέχον το κόσμο το μέγα καθαρότατος ναός του Σωτήρος, η πολυτιμήτω παστάς και παρθένος, το ιερό θησαύρισμα της δόξης του Θεού, σήμερον εισάγεται εν το οίκο Κυρίου, την χάριν συνεισάγουσαν, την εν πνεύμα τη Θεό, εν ανυμνούσιν άγγελοι Θεού, αυτή υπάρχει σκηνή επουράνιο. Ότι Άγιος ή ο Θεός ημών και εσύ την δόξαν αναπέμπομεν, το Πατρί και το Υιό και το Αγίο Πνεύματι νυν και αεί. Κύριε δεηθόμεν, Κύριε ελέησον, ο Θεός ο Άγιος, ο Αγίης, αναπαυόμενος, ο τρεις Αγίου φωνή, ούτε σήμερα και ο χιόνος χωμένου, και από πάση πορανίου βεντρά μας προσχυνούν μας, ο εκ του μειώντος θα είναι παραγόν τα σύμπαντα, ο κτίσας των άνθρωπων κατοικών, εσύ εμείς και μέσα, με καμία και μέρα, ο χρήσιμο και μέρα νόμου του, καταξιώσου σε εμάς, τα αναξιούς και αναξιούς και αντάρτη, στήνε κατενόμε της δόξης του Αγίου και τροφίλε με σύντοξη, και προσαγήν, αυτός δέσποτα φιλάνθρωπε δε, πρόσεξε και εξώματο, των τραμαρτωλών, των τρισάγινων, και επίσκεψε μας εν τη Χριστότητή σου, συγχώρησον ημίν πάμπλη μέρημα εκούσιον και ακούσιον, αγίασον ημών τα σφυγάς και τα σώματα, και δώσ' μεν ενωσιότη τη λατρεύεση πάσα στα σημέρα της ζωής ημών. Πρεσβείες της Αγίας Θεοτόκου και Παρθένου Μαρίας.
Σοφία ορθή, ακούσομεν το Αγίο Ευαγγελίο.
Η ειρήνη πάση πείσμη ουδό.
Εκ του κατά Λουκάν Αγίου ανθρώπου τινός πλουσίου εφόρεσεν η χώρα, και διελογίζε τον εαυτό λέγον, τι ποιήσω, ότι ούκ έχω που συνάξω τους καρπούς μου, και είπε, τούτον ποιήσω, καθελώ μου τας αποθήκας και μίζωνας οικοδομήσω, και συνάξω εκεί πάντα τα γεννήματά μου και τα αγαθά μου, και ερώτη ψυχή μου, ψυχή, έχεις πολλά αγαθά κείμενα εισέτη πολλά, αναπαύου φάγε πίε εφραίνου. Είπε δε αυτό ο Θεός, άφρον, ταύτη τη νύχτη την ψυχή σου απαιτούσιν από σου, άντε ετοιμασάς τι να έστε, ούτως ο θησαυρίζωνε αυτό, και μης Θεόν πλουτών, ταύτα λέγον εφώνει, ο έκον οτα ακούειν, άκουετο. The Lord said this parable, the land of a rich man brought forth plentifully, and he thought to himself, what shall I do, for I have nowhere to store my crops? And he said, I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, be merry. But God said to him, fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? So it is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. As he said these things, he cried out, he who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Peace be with you who proclaim the gospel. Ειρήνηση το ευαγγελιζομένο. Με πολύ μεγάλη χαρά, αδελφοί μου, και συγκίνηση βρίσκομαι σήμερα μαζί σας με τους δύο διακόνους μας, τον πατέρα Παντελεήμονα, τον Αρχιδιάκονα και τον πατέρα Ελευθέριο, σε αυτόν τον ιερό ναό και σε αυτή την ωραία κοινότητα του Τρόη. It is with immense joy that we are together today in this really charming community of Troy, liturgizing with Father Emmanuel, a good pastor here, and Father Dionysios who came, and the two deacons. And it is so good not only to see you here gathered for the worship of the Lord, but also have your children in the Holy Altar. They have been very, very attentive. That's not easy. It took us 2 hours and 25 minutes from New York to drive up here. But it was more than worth it. Άξιζε οι 2,5 ώρες από τη Νέα Υόρκη. And let me share something with you. I guess some of you might know it, but most might not know. Before liturgy, and when we have a liturgy, we don't put anything in our mouth. Anything. Not even water. Now, to drive for 2.5 hours and have a liturgy is something. But I always remember that we did the same thing in Mount Sinai, going up for 3 hours and have a liturgy. So this is much less, and also it's the joy of being together. I would like to thank you for receiving us so warmly. I would like to express thanks to the cantor and the choir now that accompanies the liturgy. It's a good choir. As you can imagine, we have an experience of large choirs, of small choirs, male, female, children. This is a good choir. Why I'm saying this? Part of the choir, and an important item in any choir, is not only to be able to sing properly, but to be in full coordination with the celebrating clergy. That's not easy. Because sometimes they prefer a higher level because of their voices. The clergy try to conform, follow, or the clergy change the pitch, and the choir has difficulty. This choir is good. They were very good in following everything. I'm sharing with you these things because most of the time take for granted a number of things, which is not to be taken for granted. That's something of a good musical performance, and you have to be proud of your choir. Of course, as you know, there is always, especially in art, music, and art like music connected with worship, there is always room for improvement, for going higher and better. But the thing is that as they help the liturgy, the service, the worship go in a very smooth, very beautiful, rhythmic way. I would like also to not only thank but congratulate the young children that are with us. Some of the Holy Altar children are young because they are here not for a 2-minute service or a 5-minute. It's a longer service, and they have to be praised that they are here. And this is a good way to learn from very early to be with the service. Αδελφοί μου, σήμερα έχουμε και την ευλογία να έχουμε ακούσει ένα πάρα πολύ σπουδαίο Ευαγγέλιο και ένα εξαιρετικό αποστολικό αναγνώσμα. Today we have been blessed with a beautiful gospel reading and also a beautiful apostolic reading. The gospel reading speaks about a rich man who had plenty of property, especially fields. At some specific time, the crops harvest was very abundant, not simply abundant. And the man said, now what am I going to do? Because the places that I have to store this kind of rich harvest are very limited. He did not think God gave him the blessing of this big harvest. He could help some of the people who have nothing. He didn't think that. He thought, what can I do to enjoy what I have? And he said, well, I'm going to just destroy my places for storing and build bigger ones, put there my harvest, my crops, and say to my soul, now you have plenty of things, just enjoy. And God told him, you are full, this night you are going to die, it would happen. And what happened to all these things that you thought of keeping in a storing place only for yourself? So he said, the Lord said at the end, this happens if someone gathers treasures for himself and not for God and in the name of God. That's the key, that's the secret. What is the way we deal with our lives? We don't have to have harvests and millions. We have the great gift which is life. What do we do with our lives? How our life is connected with God, how is given as a life of generosity of soul, a life of connection with other people, a life of offering assistance, a life of healing, how much we do that, and how much we are just thinking, what can I do for my little ego? That's a good thing of today's gospel. But we have also something very important from today's epistle. What St. Paul says today, and what we heard, is that he says to us, you, by being connected to Christ through faith, you are a dwelling place of God. In the original text, he says, εμείς εστε κατοικητήριον του Θεού εν πνεύματι. Είστε η κατοικία του Θεού. You are, he says to us, the residence of God. Not that God is with us, God is there, we are here. Or God is near. God is within us. We are the place that God stays within our poor, sinful existence. Κατοικητήριον του Θεού. And today also, and in another place, St. Paul said, you are the temple of God. We are in a temple here, in a very nice house of God. But we are the house of God. We are the temples of God. We are the dwelling place and the temple of God. One of the most lofty, superb privileges. And this is why also Paul says, this is why we are citizens together with the saints and relatives of God. Και οικοί του Θεού. People in the household of God. This is nobility, my beloved people. One could be a king, a president, a prince, but to be a relative of God, to be part of the family of God. And St. Paul leaves no doubt that this is the case. So today, as we are here, and it's so beautiful to be together worshiping, the day outside is a bit cold and cloudy, but this place here is full of light and very warm. Because the hearts are warm, because we are the temple of God, because we are the relatives of God, because we are the residents of God, our own existence, and because we are gifted not with whatever this rich man of the gospel had, but we are gifted with not only health and family and church and living in this country that we are living. It's an ocean of blessings in which we are swimming, and an abundance of tremendous gifts. So, as we continue now our worship here, let us remember that we are the nobility of God, that we have this title which is the highest possible title on earth and in heaven, because in addition of having all these things, we are the people whom the angels serve, as we know, because we are the temple of God. So then, let's now continue our service. We have with us today this gentleman. He's an archon of the Patriarchate, Mr. PANAGOS, and he has been videotaping this liturgy. So tonight he's going to present it through the electronic media. So if someone tells you that they saw you on television, you should know that this is the way it happened. Nothing secret and nothing unusual, just something that this gentleman does it for the good of the church and for the promotion of the gospel, this gospel that declares us the sons and daughters of God, the temples of God, the dwelling place of God, and the inheritors of the kingdom of heaven. May God be always with us and keep us.